Okay, good morning. So I want us to continue from where we've left, where we've actually managed to talk about the reservations. But we had earlier spoken about the front office department, where we said the front office department, the personnel. Yeah, we also spoke about the different subsections that are found in a front office department, and the reservation. We spoke about the reservation process, the different systems that are used to reserve for guests. It is now when the guest comes to the organization or to the hotel, we are supposed to do something called the registration. Now, registration basically refers to getting details of the guest. And take notes, this is a very important stage because this is the time when you get to meet the client for the first time. Therefore, the first impression a guest gets from an organization is a lasting impression. Therefore, it is very important to know how to manage the guests. Okay, so we basically say the registration is one of the most important stage in an organization, and it gives a lasting impression to a customer. So it is important for us to be able to know how we handle the guest. So what happens when the guest arrives is that we should be able to collect certain information from the guest. Like for example, if they've arrived today, yeah, so what are some of their, how long would they be staying with us, what is their name, what are their addresses, their telephone number, the date of departure, etc. Okay, yeah, so if a guest had made prior arrangement in terms of reservation, you're able to allocate them the room that they had initially reserved. However, if they had not, after getting all these details, you also inquire about the kind of reservation they also, the kind of accommodation they need. You should be able to assign the guest the availability of the room according to their needs. Okay, then depending also with the guest, if this is a cash payment, or it's a credit card, the guest is able to make arrangements for payments. Okay, then of course we have got what we call the room management. Now this is the duration of the stay, yeah, just trying to find out how long is the guest there, so that in case they were to leave, we are able to resell the same rooms. Okay, then of course after the guest has arrived and registered for a room and established their credibility, then we should be able to assign the guest the room according to their requirements. So we've got what we call the registration record. This is now where we get to fill in details about the guests. This is their name, the surname, the company where they are coming from, expected date of arrival, expected date of departure. We also talk about the room type that they require, if they've got any other special requests, yeah, and of course the guest has to sign, they have to append a signature when they are filling in this information. Okay, now we've got different methods of registration. We've got what we call the bound book. This is now a very big book that is normally bounded. Yeah, so this is normally written manually. Yeah, so it's written manually, and some of the disadvantages of this book handling is that confidentiality of guest information cannot be maintained, because the next guest who comes in have to fill in their details, so the guest fills in the information themselves. Okay, then we talk about another method which we call the loose leaf register. Okay, now a loose leaf, as the word refers to, it is something that is normally plaqued. Yeah, it is something that is the guest is given, and they fill in the information, and they return that information to the reservation desk or the reservation person who is handling it. And now, of course, we have an individual registration. Now, this method uses a card, and each guest is allocated a card where they are able to fill in their specific information about themselves. Okay, so now those three methods of registering guests. Okay, however, we've got different ways, we've got different systems. Now, these are not manual, these are through either computer. Yeah, so we've got we've got several systems of registration. We've got the manual system. Now, this is used by small hotels. Yeah, so this is where the documents, including the guest folio, the arrival notification slips, are prepared and they are distributed manually. So this is basically done manually. Then we have the semi-automatic system. Yeah, now this is normally handled in hotels that don't have a computer and are either a medium or a large size of a hotel. Okay, so here we had the machines like a typewriter that were used to feed in certain information. Then, of course, we've got the automatic system. Now, this is more of a computerized method whereby it allows and help in the smooth and the speedy check-in of guests, and guests can simply sign in the registration documents generated by the computer. And now we have the express check-in system. Now, the express check-in system